When I was a lad, there was a shop called Woolworths in the UK. It shut down in 2009 after 100 years trading. In its heyday, you could find a Woolies on every high street in the UK. It was where you bought your records and cassettes, Ladybird books, clothes, the famous pick and mix sweets, and a vast range of DIY and leisure goods. In the 60s, they sold cheap methylated spirit stoves. Brand names such as Cookie, Handyware, and Ideal Express went head to head with a Woolworths own brand product. They sold for 2 shillings and 6pence, which is 12.5 new pence these days. Now, what one do I have here? Unlike the branded products, it has no painted scene and no painted lid. But that could have worn off, or it could have been removed. It doesn't have the clips to hold the lid on that the Cookie has. And it doesn't have the same lid or the clips of the Handyware. So we can discount them. If we open up and have a look at the lid, it doesn't have the same pressing of the Ideal Express. But taking the burner out, it does say British made, and you can just make out Ideal Express. But the lid is slightly different that we use to snuff it out. Now we compare the air holes here and here. They're closer to the branded model, like 2 holes drilled through, punched through, and these are rounded. We can't see on the Woolworths model. All I can say is the windshield is either a branded Ideal Express that has had the paint removed and a replacement lid, or a later version from the photo I have, or it's the plain version made for Woolworths by Ideal for Woolworths to sell. Unfortunately, the Woolworths version has a sticker, so we can't see the shape of the holes, but they are more diamond shaped than round. The burner, as we can see here, with its lid, is definitely the original Ideal Express. It's difficult to see underneath, but you can see the mirror image of the stamping inside, and it says Ideal Express British made. So regardless of provenance, what we have here is a cheap meth stove sold for picnicking and camping in the 50s and 60s. It was cheap, easy to get, the fuel was easy to use, and it was ideal for the average family. Imagine sitting in a lay-by next to the family Morris Minor Ford Anglia or Hillman Imp while a kettle is brewing for a cup of tea, or you're having a fry-up. So let's get this going, and we'll see how it does. Now, before we do anything, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. There is some writing in there and it says fill to line. So that's the fill line. We won't be using meths, we'll be using the bioethanol that we have. There's no difference in the operation. This does not simmer. A simmer ring from a Trangia would work. You'd be able to fit it in. It would be a bit of a difficulty, but it would work. But as it came, there is no simmer ring. It does not transfer fuel. There is no seal on the cap, and the cap is loose. But the burner itself is firmly held in place by these cutouts. If you look at the bottom of the stove, it has a reg number as well for the manufacturing. So let's just put the burner back in. As you can see, it holds it well in place. That goes on top. You'd be able to fit a lighter, a rag, things like that inside with it. Empty, this weighs 225 grams, which is this. And we'll just show it with the lid on. It's a compact little stove. So first of all, we'll fill up the burner. I'll take it out, it'll be easier. Up to its limit. I do not know how long these take to boil water, but I have heard that they're not that efficient. I've seen figures of 10 or 11 minutes. Now, as you can see, we've put in quite a lot, and it's going down and soaking into the double wall and the wick. I don't know when this was last used. It's still soaking in, and it's going down the sides. So it's taking quite a lot of alcohol. We don't want to overfill. Underfill is fine. I have my usual 300 mils of water in the Optimus kettle, and we'll see how long it takes to boil. Just out of interest, you can see it just fits on the top there. I'll just move this over a little bit, around about there, so it avoids the camera and the light box. We'll wait until it blooms, and then we'll put on the kettle. I'll just switch off the lights. Now it's wanting to bloom. Once it heats up, it'll be fine. Now there's no wind, no breeze, no draft. So it's just the normal operation of the stove. Right, that's it bloomed. As you can see, the flames are coming through the top holes. Air's going in the bottom. So you need quite a wide kettle for this. This one's just the right size. Actually looks very nice. And that's it boiling at 4.5 minutes. Much better than I expected. And we'll just snuff it out. The snuffer doesn't work that well. Now, like a lot of things from the 50s and 60s, as you've just seen, this is not very safe. You have to snuff out with a hard action. Otherwise, it will just go round the flame will just go round the sides, and that's it. That was a bit scary there. Squeaky bum time, as they say. So a lot faster burning than I was led to believe that these would. In fact, quite ferocious, actually. I can imagine that this caused quite a few burns from people that were trying to treat it too gently. It really does need a good bash down to put the flame out. It's compact. It's a typical spirit burner. There's no screw, there's no way of keeping the alcohol safe, and for one boil of water, it almost used up the whole amount of fuel that was put in there. So it's fast, but it's not efficient. These are quite easy to come by. 10, 20 pounds on auction sites. They're simple, easy to use, apart from snuffing it out. A lot of them probably ended up rusted away. Just out of interest, we'll take out the burner. It's quite hot, and we'll see what it's made of out of. Steel. It's a steel burner. Okay, so it's a steel burner. I'll just put that back in, where it's nice and stable. What do I think? It's only for car camping, picnic stoves. You really need something to keep it upright. Any fuel that is left in the wick will evaporate fairly quickly. You'd have to, if there's any fuel left after boiling up a kettle, which I doubt, you'd have to empty it out. As a collector's item, they're great, especially if you can get the ones that have the painting, the painted scenes on the side. They're 1950s, 1960s culture. These were made by a number of companies. I know a Swiss company made it. This one is made in Britain. It always reminds me of a golden syrup tin that's had bits punched out of it. I'm sure you could make your own with a burner and one of those tins quite easily. the air going in does give it quite a good effect. I'm sure if the wind's blowing it would probably be a lot quicker than it actually is. And you get the flame coming out of the side there and licking up round the top of the can. So it's almost like a dual burner. I was actually surprised at how quick it did boil. I was also surprised about how lethal this could be if you are too gentle with it. You really do have to make sure that your aim is good and it goes right down to snuff it out in a quick action. If you miss a little bit, the flame goes up the side. If you put it on too gently, it just forces the flame underneath and there's enough room for it still to burn. Then this gets too hot, you can't pick it out, you need a pair of pliers or something. These days, it probably wouldn't be sold. Do I like it? Yes, it's part of my collection. Of course I like it. Would I use it? No. I've got better solutions than this. Even the Delovaric is better than this. And just as fast. So there you have it. The ideal express stove. Not ideal, but it is express. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. It helps the channel. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.